5G, 5th generation cellular network technology, a possible future for many people's internet access that has captured the curiosity of a lot of folks for several reasons. No, not that reason, geesh, this is getting kinda old. While there are technological and commercial reasons to jump to a new generation of mobile internet, inevitably a non-business final customer is left wondering when will it ever make sense to upgrade. After all, for many, it might feel like a properly serviced 4G link is able to provide most of the service one uses daily. From movie streaming, YouTube and whatnot, either way, the model of mobile internet is going to have to dramatically shift away from charging for data consumption, and we are going to need to popularize some new uses for that bandwidth. Which takes me back to cloud gaming. Oh, cloud gaming. I've already spoken about this topic extensively, and about the things that I love and hate about it, but let me just retake the topic one more time just to satisfy my curiosity. Earlier this year, I spoke about GeForce Now, an Nvidia-made service that uses some games from your existing Steam library, and that I found, and continue to find, quite neat. Since then, they have had some defeats and some victories, but the reason why I bring this up is that back then, one of my experiments was trying to make it work on a 4G connection on some random town in the mountains of Colorado. Back when I could visit random towns in Colorado, damn you, 5G? My conclusions back then were simple. It is neat that it works as a proof of concept for the technology, but the latency and compression was too much for me to freely recommend. That experiment started floating around in my head again when I received a review sample for a certain phone. You might have seen me mention Red Magic before. I have used several of their previous entry-level gaming phones in my probably fatefully doomed attempts to get people to empathize with the rise of mobile gaming and mobile gaming esports in a lot of developing countries, something that I'm sure is not being helped by the state of Android mobile gaming so far. My impression of their phone is surprisingly similar to last year's model. I like the physical triggers, I wish it had full controls, the active cooling makes the best out of the top of the line specs, but you will hardly find any Android games that actually make use of all that power. The new model for this year now has several cameras, a 120Hz screen that is only compatible with a handful of games, and under the screen fingerprint sensor, and more importantly for this video, full 5G compatibility. Here's the thing, there are several bands that are used for 5G, and mid-band and high-band 5G both theoretically provide both an important increase in bandwidth and a decrease in latency, both elements that I complain about in my 4G test. So, how did 5G fare? Well, this is terrible. Hold on. Barcelona, where I live, is currently one of the first cities with 5G, with at least one telecom providing mid-band 2.6 and 3.7 GHz coverage with unlimited data plans, but coverage is on an earlier stage. Now, most of this video was filmed in my office, which is supposed to have decent coverage of 5G and works great for stuff like video streaming and had decent bandwidth, but latency was so bad it was unreasonable for almost every game I can think of. I was considering just shelving this whole video, but I decided to give it a try at home while filming on another phone, and honestly, I thought I was accidentally on Wi-Fi after a bit of playing. There is definitely a degree of latency, and I would risk saying it is a bit higher than Wi-Fi, but nothing out of place for cloud gaming. If I could get this to work like this anywhere in the city that has decent phone signal, I think I will be using cloud gaming way more. I repeated this test a number of times on both occasions and got the same results very consistently, and in there lies the question. With telecom providers really needing nuclear excuses for people to upgrade for 5G, cloud gaming is ripe for the taking, which is not why it surprised me at all that stuff like GeForce Now is rolling out in certain countries at the hand of those providers as part of their data plans, which, when it works really well. Stuff like video watching or streams is less sensitive to latency issues inherent to wireless communication than cloud gaming is. But stuff like video or watching stream does okay with latency issues, but that's not the case for cloud gaming. So short of covering cities in antennas, which seems to be the plan for some telecom providers anyway, the technology seems very close, but not quite there. Well, I kinda want it to be. Affordable, fast 5G could change the game literally for a lot of people in lower specs. I guess we will find out. For now, I'm aware that 5G is just a weird luxury reserved for a first line of developing countries, but, well, we will get there eventually.